Mine first.
Hey, that's
what we had with us.
We're not handing out red stuff.
You're so deep.
I did it. I did it once.
All right, let's take a look at what you got. What did we get through marking yesterday? 1 through 4? 1 through 5?
I don't know.
Preston, you got your workout? What are you doing?
Yeah, it was 4. We went through 4.
Come on. Okay. Now for 6 on there, let's see, we'll take a look at that. And have that sheet. All right, I think we're best we just kind of go over some of these answers, okay, from here, and then kind of finish it off. And we did number, so we had here, we did number 4. All right, number 5, tell where the quadratic function opens up or down. Grant, you have any idea?
Which number are we on?
5, the one with the big hole in the middle right here.
I said it opened up.
Okay, and what made you say it opens up?
The x squared is positive.
X squared is positive. So that's all you really need to know for that one. So it opens upward because x squared is positive. Okay. For number 6, and I should have done this and didn't, make sure you put arrows on that graph, and hopefully you answered it as if there were arrows on there. So for 6 there on that left-hand side, you put arrows as it's moving down. For that. All right, Amanda, domain and range. Remember?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got? What do you think for the domain?
All real numbers.
Okay, the domain, and she's correct, are the x values. And for this problem is basically it's going to keep going, getting wider and wider and wider. So it's basically going to hit all the x values. Preston, do you know the range?
R is less than -2. Range is less than -2.
What is less than -2?
The range.
The range. All right, you're on the right track. You're not writing it down correctly. Colin?
Less than equal to?
What's less than or equal to? You have to have something in front of it. Y. You have to say y is less than or equal to -2. Okay, because right there you go, it hits at -2 is the highest point, and it hits everything down below there. So y is less than or equal to -2. That's how you have to have a range. Okay, don't you have? Okay, so for that. So know that for the range. All right, let's see here. We did number 4. I'm just going to add this here. All right, so what number are we on there? 7? All right, 7. Find the zeros, find the axis. All right, this one is either super easy or you're just like clueless because there's really absolutely no work to do. Okay, there's no work to do. Zeros, I want those listed as order. That's just where it hits the x-axis. Hanan, you got what the zeros are?
I got 2.
You got what? There's 2 of them, but what are they? You got to list their points.
1 0 and 3 0.
Yep, that's what you want to list. So for the zeros, it doesn't just say how many, it says what are they? So it's 1 0 and it's 3 0. Okay, and Preston, do you know what the axis of symmetry would be?
2.
How would you write it? If you put 2, I'm gonna mark it wrong.
Axis of symmetry equals 2.
Closer. Okay, axis of symmetry, you have to write x equals 2. You have to write it as an equation. Okay, there's no wiggle room on that. You can't just put 2. You gotta put x equals 2. Okay, so that would be your axis of symmetry. All right, now number 8. Take a look at that one and then see if you haven't already answered it. answer that or fix it if you need to because of what we did for number 7. Okay, for what we did for number 7. Connor?
For answer, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Or is that what you had your hand up?
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
I got -20 and -50.
Are you sure about -20?
No, -1.
Alright. Good. -1, 0, -5, 0. And how about the axis of symmetry?
I got x equals -3.
X equals -3. All right, I agree with that. Morgan, you agree? All right, she said yep. All right, now 9. This is great. You're probably like, I got no idea how to do 9, do you?
Well, after conjuring.
Oh, so now you got an idea? Zane, you know how to do 9?
Think so?
How'd you do it?
That B over A X equation, I guess. I don't know how, I don't know you. Yeah, that.
That one. Next, that's how you do it. All right, now, I guess there's been some cheating incidents, and not in this grade, but in other grades, so make sure you gotta know that. Don't try and write it in your calculator, okay? And they can tuck it up underneath there, so I gotta make you take your covers off, because, there's been some issues in other classes. Not this class, because you guys are good girls and boys. And you wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't do that.
Colin literally
Good
like,
guess.
But I just don't want you, I don't want to tempt you. Right, so you're gonna need to know that equation. Make sure you got nothing, nothing bad written in there. Okay. Nope.
We're good.
All right, so now what goes in for B? What goes in for A? Zach, what goes in for B?
B would be -2.
Yep, now don't forget that negative stays there, and you put in -2 for B, and what goes in for A?
And then just do -1.
Good, -1. This becomes minus a -2, which is 2 over -2. X equals -1.
Oh, would you get it wrong if I put it in, -1, 0, like that?
Yes, you get it wrong. Because why? What is it asking for?
The axis of
Axis of symmetry is not a point. The axis of symmetry is not a point. You only put a point in ordered pair form. Okay, Connor?
So for like the first 3 questions we did,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just confused me a little. So do you just take the first number, the second number, and so on, and subtract or add however much it is?
Yeah. So go back to number 1 because you're definitely going to see these. Okay. Actually, let me just do number 2, and I'm going to make it vertical, and it's going to be 4, 1. Here's my X. Here's my Y. 4, 1, 0, 1, and 4. All right, I'm backtracking for Connor here. You're wondering what I'm doing. Now, you gotta determine whether it's quadratic. You gotta look at what's called the second difference. 2 ways you can do it. You can do the second one minus the first, or you can just say, all right, how do I go from here to here? Well, 4 to 1 is a subtract 3. 1 to 0 is a subtract 1. 0 to 1 is you add 1, and 1 to 4 is you add 3. Does that make sense? And I gotta see this. Now I need to see the second difference. Well, how do I get from -3 to -1? You go up to, -1 to 1 is up 2, and 1 to 3 is up 2. And these numbers are the same. What does that tell me?
That's quadratic.
That it's quadratic. Okay. If they're different, then it's not quadratic. You gotta show that. You gotta show me the numbers.
Gotcha.
Okay, for that one. All right, and back to number 9. Sam, yes, you gotta write that as X equals -1. You can't write as -1, 0. Okay. So 10 would be the same. Same idea. So X equals -b over 2a. What goes in for those values? Rachel, what do you got going in for B? What do you think goes in for B and what goes in for A? Go ahead, Con.
I had -16 for B.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and what about,
I'm like, what?
Over 2 and then 2.
2 times 2. So I got negative 16 over 4, which is negative 4. So it should be x equals negative 4, not the ordered pair. Okay, not the ordered pair. All right, now we add another layer. Just find the vertex. You don't have the graph. Like I can find the vertex, you give me the graph. That's pretty easy. Jay Lee, do you know how to find the vertex for 11? Yeah. Are you confident in your ability to find the vertex for number 11? No. All right, that's what I needed to know. It's okay. For that one. Zane?
First do the same, or do you want me to explain?
Yeah, explain.
Okay, first do that funky equation.
Okay.
And then you get 12 over negative 2.
Okay.
That equals 6.
Okay.
Negative 6, yeah, I have that down. And then you plug that negative 6 into the original equation, and you get negative 6, 4.
4, negative 6, 4. All right. You've got to find the axis of symmetry. You got to do x equals negative b over 2a. Okay, everybody's got to do that. So we do x equals the opposite of negative 12 over 2 times negative 1 is 12 over negative 2. Did you get negative 6, you said, Zane?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So you can't stop there. You plug in negative 6. Now you got to watch that negative in plugging everything in. Now, what did you say you got 4? All right, does anybody agree with that? He agrees with it. Zach agrees with it. So if I'm plugging that in, I got that negative on the outside, parentheses, negative 6 squared minus 12 times negative 6 minus 32. Well, I had to do something wrong. I didn't put a negative 6 in there. So minus negative 6 squared minus 12 times negative 6 minus 32. 4. So now how do I write my answer? How do I write my answer? Okay. You're going to write it as, so my vertex, hold on here, let me do something first. So I got y equals 4, we said, right? So I got my vertex to be negative 6, 4. Got to make sure you write it like that. That one's an ordered pair, Sam. That one's an ordered pair. All right, now take your actual practice test. We're going to do a couple of them on there. So flip it over to the next one, number 12, and there's a spot there to do your work. It's a little bit easier than doing it on your own paper with the graph, as Rachel did. Who helped you with? You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, number 12. Hey, these are going to be worth a good bit of points tomorrow. There it is. I think it might be worth 7 points. I kind of gave it away there. So you got to be really careful here. Now, should we do this one together? Let's do this one together, and then I'll have you do 13. So for 12, it tells you exactly what to do. Find the axis of symmetry, find the vertex, find the y-intercept, and 2 additional points. You have to list them. You're going to see it very similar to on the test tomorrow. All of that good stuff listed. All right, so for the axis of symmetry, you got x equals negative b over 2a. B is going to be negative 4. A is 1. Let me know what you get for the axis of symmetry. Same?
I got 2.
Positive 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got positive 2. Do we agree? Everybody's got to be on the same page. Jay Lee, you agree? Now, how do you write your answer over here?
X equals 2.
Got to write x equals 2. Got to write that. Now, your vertex is going to be a point. Okay, so let's now substitute 2 into the equation and see what you get. Zane?
I got negative 7.
All right, I'm going to just do a quick mental check. So that's 4. You said negative 7?
Yeah.
So you need to write this as 2, comma, negative 7. All right, now let's go over to the graph. and where it is, where you get x equals 2, let's put a dotted line because that's going to cut it in half. And at 2, -7, you're going to put a point. Okay, at 2, -7, you're going to put a point. Y-intercept. Connor, do you remember how to find a y-intercept?
Yes, I think so.
What do you think it is?
Is it -3.7?
Ooh.
Or is, wait, no, never mind, sorry. Don't you, like,
He's thinking. He's thinking. Zane, you've been on fire here. Give Connor a chance. Been on fire, though.
isn't it just like -3, -7?
Okay. -3, -7 would be over here.
Oh,
The y-intercept, so it is on the y-axis. Right there. What are the coordinates of that point?
0, -3, that's the last number.
Yep, it is that last number without a constant or without a variable, so it's 0, -3. And you have to write it like that. Now, this is where some people kind of get a little bit confused. Let's find 2 other points, and you just can't find 2 points at random. Okay? There's 2 specific points you need to list there. And they have to be on the same side as the y-intercept, and they have to be as close to the axis of symmetry as possible. So this point is the y-intercept's to the left. I don't want you plugging in -7 and -6. What are the 2 numbers we would have to plug in here, Colin?
1 and -1.
Yep, so you start at 2, we go to the left, we hit 1, we skip over 0 because I already got that point, and then you go to -1. All right, plug those in, see what you get. If you haven't already done so. Gotta plug in 1 and -1. You go to the same side as the y-intercept. Okay, because technically we already have it right there. Hey, what do we got here? Okay, yep, thank you. Zach, I got you some note cards. Stacks. Okay. So yeah, Brett, it's gotta be 1 and -1. Okay, it's gotta be 1 and -1. You go to the same side as the y-intercept. In this case, it's on the left. For that same, you got either one of those plugged in?
Oh, nice.
What are you waiting on?
I was trying to figure out how you got the 1 and -1.
Okay, start at the axis of symmetry. Okay, that is at 2. The y-intercept is to the left. Go to the next x coordinate on that side, which would be 1. Okay? We don't use 0 because we already have that point. So then you go to the next one, -1. Okay?
Okay.
So there's always, but you gotta go to the same side as that. Preston, you got something plugged in?
Yeah,
What'd you get for 1?
1 -6.
And what'd you get for -1?
2.
2. Do we agree? So if I go to 1, -6, I put a dot. And I go to -1, 2, I put a dot. You should have 3 points on one side, which means you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You go to the mirror point. And then you should have that. Now, the 2 other points, I know I got them in my chart. I need to list them as -1, 2, and 1, -6. And I really wouldn't care which one you listed first. That's not that big a deal. So we got those. Put those right there. Yep, so you got those. All right, once you got that one, you do number 13. You do number 13, so you can do the whole thing. Hey, all right, for 13, look at the equation and before you even start, which way should that open, up or down?
Down.
Should open down, so make sure it does open down. Hey, that second point might fall off the graph. If that does, it's okay. You're right. Sure. That second point. You square it up. Plug it in here. Like that. Two. Square. Yeah, square. There you go. Sorry about that. Hey, we get -1 for axis symmetry. Sam? So x equals -1. Zane, did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hanan? All right, so make sure you got -1 for your axis of symmetry. And so now we gotta plug in, all right, so it's gonna change.
Yeah, no, that one, yeah.
Okay, so now we plug that in, -1. Now you gotta watch here because you gotta square things, you got negatives running around. Well, not literally running around. But let me just do this by hand. -1 squared is 1 times -2 is -2 plus 4 minus 2. I got 0. -1 comma 0. Morgan, you agree? Yep, she says. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. My axis of symmetry is -1, and I do want you to draw that on there. And now -1, 0. And now I got my y-intercept. Okay, Amanda, what's that gonna be?
0, -2.
Good, it's gonna be that number without any variables, so 0, -2. All right, Preston, you know which 2 points you gotta pick?
1 and 2.
Gotta pick 1 and 2. Okay, you gotta go to the right this time because the y-intercept's on the right. And I gotta plug in 1 and 2. Do you have those, Preston?
Yeah, -8, 1, and -18.
All right, so even though it doesn't hit on the graph, tomorrow I'll make sure that works out. Okay, I want to make sure it hits on the graph. But so you got 1 -8, and 2 would be way down here. I'm just going to guess. And so drawing the mirror points, and that would be here. So it'll look like that. Okay, looks like that. All right, we good? Connor, you good?
Yep.
All right, Jaylee? All right. Now, 14. This one here, you don't have a graph. I got one over here, but it's not absolutely necessary. Okay, there's a couple of key things you got to do to solve this one. It says the height of the soccer ball that is kicked from the ground can be approximated by the function y equals -8x squared plus 32x. Okay, so that's going to be a key one here. Now, graph this function. I don't think I have graph it on the, and you might have graphed it on your sheet, which is fine. I'm gonna graph it over here. Find the time it takes a soccer ball to reach its maximum height, the soccer ball's maximum height, and the time it takes it to reach the ground. Okay, and we've done multiple ones of this. The key thing, what is the key thing to find? Starts with a V and it rhymes with vertex.
Vertex.
Vertex. No way. How'd you get it?
I don't know.
Got to find the vertex. Find the vertex by using x equals negative b over 2a and plugging that in. Okay? So do that. So find your little x coordinate. Now you can do this on that other sheet of paper. You have a little bit more room. It doesn't have to be on this one. I just had those two graphs because I wanted to see how the layout was. So x equals negative b over 2a minus 32 over 2 times negative 8. And it looks like I get 2. All right, plug in 2 and tell me what you get for y after that. Grant, you got what you get for y? Plug in 2.
Yeah, I guess 32.
32, we agree? Amanda? 32?
Not 56.
She got 56. All right, Zach, what'd you get?
I got 32.
32? Uh-oh. 32? So let me take a look. Amanda says 56. So negative 8, 2 squared plus 32 times 2. Oh, all right, double check what you did.
I typed in negative 2 times 2.
Okay. So we should get the point 232. All right, how do we graph this thing? And I don't want you to go crazy. Where does it hit when you plug in 0? This is always going to be the key for all of these ones where you can find how high something goes. When you plug in x equals 0, what do we get back? You get back 0. It's always going to hit right here. Now, you can change your scale. I'm going to go up, I don't know, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. So 8, 16, 24, 32. So it hits at the point 232. Where's it going to hit? The mirror point going to hit at? If it hits at 232, then the other point is going to hit at, across from 0, 0, it's going to hit at 4, 0. Right there. Okay. Now, we haven't answered any questions. Max height. Hanan, you know what it is? It's the 32. So even without the graph, if you don't even do the graph, it's always going to be that vertex. Rachel? Okay, because the vertex, and even though I didn't draw it, the vertex, the axis of symmetry has to go through the vertex, right? So if I have this point 0, 0, I have to have the mirror point on the other side. So that's how I get that. And if it's in the air 2 seconds, that means it's going to be another, if it takes 2 seconds to get the maximum height, how long is it going to take to get down to the ground? It's going to take another 2 seconds. So the maximum height is 32 feet. And then, return to the ground. So the time to reach the maximum height, time for max height would be what, Zach? 2 seconds is going to be that x coordinate, and then it's going to take another 2 seconds to hit the ground. So it'd be a total of 4 seconds. So time to reach ground would be 4 seconds. Okay, for that one. So 32 feet max height. All you gotta do is find the vertex, whatever the vertex is. So let's say, all right, listen to this. If I gave you the vertex is 315 for this type of problem, what's the max height? 15. How long does it take to get the maximum height? 3 seconds. How long will it take to hit the ground?
6 seconds.
Okay, so if I said it was 1.582, what's the max height? How long did it take to get there? How long did it take to hit the ground? Okay, so those are all gonna be the same. All you gotta know is the vertex. All you gotta know the vertex. All right, hopefully you recognize these, and these are good for you, and you don't miss points on these. Just wider or narrower, so for 15, which one would be narrower? Okay, same? G of X, because you got that higher number in front of the X squared. Wider or narrower, is that? F of X, okay. You really just ignore the negative, or you take the absolute value of the number in front of the X squared, and then the higher the number, the steeper it is, okay? So that's good. Those two are going to be narrower. 17 and 18. All right. Describe the transformations, and I also want you to tell me where the vertex is, even though it doesn't say it specifically. When it says describe this transformation, it means does it move left or right or up or down or both, and then how far? Zach, what do you got?
It goes to the left 3 and up 5, and vertex is negative 3, 5.
Left 3, up 5, and what did you say the vertex was?
Negative 3, 5.
Negative 3, 5. That's correct. So vertex. Negative 3, 5. And then for 18, okay, Zane?
Right 1, down 6.
So right 1, down 6. And my vertex, Zane?
1, negative 6.
Good. 1, negative 6. All right, we good there? Last one. Let's get through that one. Oh, we got time. We've had, all right, so you had, what were the numbers at the top of the other page? 12 and 13, you graph one way, and then you got to follow the directions to graph this one slightly different. Slightly different. Okay. Now, it says graph the following, identify the coordinates of the vertex, make a table of values using the vertex and 2 points to the left and 2 points to the right. Well, really, you should be able to tell me the vertex right off the bat, okay, based upon which way it's moving. Okay, Jay Lee, do you know how to tell where the vertex is? I'll take that as a no. Which way is it moving? The X minus 2 moves it which way? Right, how far?
2.
And then what does the plus 3 do? How far? Okay, so now here, we're just like this problem right here. So it's moving X squared left and right. So it moves the vertex, which is usually at 0, 0. It moves it to the right 2 and up 3, which puts it at 2, 3. So that's our vertex. And you can put it there if you want to. So we should be good. Now, here's the key. What points do we put in? You cannot just put -1, -2, that, or -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. That's out the window for parabolas. So basically, think on a number line. If this is 2, go 2 to the right and 2 to the left. 2 to the right would be 3 and 4. 2 to the left would be 1 and 0. So I'm going to start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Plug those in. See what you get. Now you should know what you get when you plug in 2, but it never hurts to double check it. Okay, in case you made just a careless mistake. So you got 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So identify that X coordinate of the vertex. Go 2 to the right, 2 to the left. You got the values there, Preston? What'd you get for 0?
7.
7. Okay. What'd you get for 1?
4.
And for 2?
3.
And for 3?
4.
And for 4,
7.
all right, make sure you get those. 0, 7, 1, 4, 2, 3, which should match up with the vertex. 3, 4, and 4, 7. Okay, let's see, you got that. So we answered everything. We got the vertex down, we got the graph, we got the table. Anything we're missing? All right, let's see, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hundreds tomorrow. Okay, 14, no problem, right?
Yeah.
14 of them. Hey, also, on today's notes, if you go, I got the answer key on here with everything worked out again, so that you can go back over. Okay, if you really want to get 100 and you missed a couple, you go back and you redo a couple problems. You redo the whole thing. That's how you study math. Okay, you rework problems, and then you got the answer key, you go look it up. So this will be on today's notes, on today's, Canvas page. So you can go to there, and it gives you everything, okay, for that. And that's, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But, all right, so we should be good there, and I'll put that up hopefully here in about 10 minutes.
You weren't recording, were you?
I was. I was.
You want,
Where?
here,